don't want to do this. Really don't want to do this, but it's one of them, innit? If it was the other way around, I'd be jumping around like a knobhead and quite happy to do it. So I'm going to have to bite the bullet and do it and accept the shit and accept the incoming comments by the mags. It's just part and parcel, innit? But we did just get beat 3-0 in the derby, in the cup, in a game in which, you know, I said into the lead up to it, I didn't expect us to win. You know, they're a Champions League team for a reason, despite injuries and their run of form and everything. The players they've got, they should be coming to the stadium like that and getting a result. And all I wanted to see was 11 men on the pitch, giving it their all, putting everything into it. And as Beal said before the game, we need to focus on ourselves and our own game, which is playing football on the ground and playing to our strengths. And instead, we just let them play. And I think probably 8-9 players out of the 11 completely allowed the occasion to get to them, swallow them up, contributed nothing, and absolutely bent over, which was an absolute fucking embarrassment, to be honest with you. So yeah, we went unchanged from the game against Preston, against the win against Preston, and you know, opening few moments, absolutely electric atmosphere at the Sol, few challenges flying in, and it looks like, you know, we're going blow for blow, and then just rapidly declined. We allowed them, and I knew that they were going to have a considerable amount more possession than us, but the way we just, you know, there's giving respect and showing respect despite the rivalry aside and everything. Again, I know the quality of him. You know, they're showing respect and then there's pulling your pants down and bending over for 90 minutes, and we did that for, you know, a lot of them did that. You know, the press wasn't really there after the opening few moments. It wasn't there. We just allowed them to play. Too many players getting sucked into the play as well. Trey Hume, time and time again, kept following the ball inside, leaving acres of space on this side, and it was just Gordon against 09 who would have to push over in turn. Clark on the other side was doing the exact same thing, tucking inside and sort of ball watching. Then it'd be Alessi up against Trippier and Almiron all on his own, and it was just a matter of time. It was like a training game for him. We had absolutely nothing, and then when we did get the ball, we were just so slow on it, and it was the first time I've ever seen in this season or for a long time just resort to hoof-it football. It was that poor. Just resort, and I get it, they have a brilliant press, but generally when we do come up against a team that has the press, we move it around a lot quicker, but no one wanted it. They were absolutely shit scared. Again, I understand this is a very young 11, they'll learn from this, but so many of the players just didn't want the ball. They were shirking responsibility. They were shitting themselves. They were stood still, no movement off the ball at all. As soon as they got it, you could see they were just like, shit, someone else take it off me, before they panic and just hoof it forward towards Rusin, who's, like fucking 5'7", against Byrne, against Shaw and the like. You know, we're not going to do anything with that. So we offered absolutely nothing. I think we had one shot to there, you know, several. And we're probably fortunate to only go in at half-time 1-0 down. Again, it come over from the left-hand side. Hume miles out of position. He was getting absolutely torn a new one by Anthony Gordon, and he put it across goal. And if Dan Ballard, who by the way I think he had a really good game despite giving away a penalty and the own goal that I'm about to talk about, he put it across goal, and if he didn't go for it, Isaac would have knocked it in anyway. So he's gone for it, and it's hit the back of the net. 1-0, and we go into half time, a goal down. So I'm thinking, right, we need to change something. Come out totally unchanged immediately in the second half. And I did think to myself, you know, if the game ended at half time, I wouldn't have been totally pissed off. Yes, like I say, they looked shit scared. We bent over, showed them too much respect, too many players off the pace, like Dan Neil and Equa. Fuck me, you know, the amount of crossfield passes that Daniel just drills straight at a Newcastle man and is way off the pace, Daniel, as were a lot of players, as I say, and I could dig out a lot of them. But I could have almost taken it because at the back, we're at least shown a little bit of responsibility. You know, O'Nien and Dan Ballard at the back, they were playing well at that point in the game. And defensive duties, we were really going for it, and I could see that. We were just going forward, we were piss poor, and we were terrified. And they were just absolutely swallowed up by the atmosphere, whereas the Mags, they've got the quality. If we allow them the ball, then we're just playing to their game and we're just boosting them, and that's exactly what we did. So I would have been relatively just like, you know, would have been annoying, said before the game, even though I expect to lose. It's an absolute gut punch when you do anyway against the Mags. But I would have almost accepted it a bit more. But second half, Michael Beal changed fuck all. We shot ourselves in the foot. Michael Beal can't take blame for that. but we're trying to play it out for the back, and Ekwa, he had a little bit of time to knock it back. It's been rolled out to him, passed back to him, and he's tried to take on, I think it was Almiron, who's just got right in his face, nicked it off him, and he just passed it straight to his man, who fires it into the back of the net to make it 2-0. So we're just giving it away straight away, 2-goal lead. Any hope of clinging for anything is gone at that point for me. Shot ourselves in the foot twice, gifted at them, and then it literally took until about the 60th minute for us to realise we can actually take part in this game as well. Where some players are like, oh shit, yeah, whenever we do have time on the ball, we can move with it, we can do something. We don't need to quickly just shift it off to someone else or pump it forward or twat out a play, which is what we kept doing time and time again against any other team. And again, have a different mindset, of course, against a team like Newcastle in comparison to someone like Preston. But we were playing it almost too safe. For example, if we'd have the ball on the right-hand side and we're getting pressured, usually we'd be quite happy to just quickly just turn back, comfortable on the ball, and just give it to your man. But instead, we'd just pump it out of play every time. Any opportunity to roll over possession, we would take it every single time because we just didn't want the ball. But 60 minutes in, we started to get a little bit. We had a phase, 5 minutes. I'm clinging for fucking dear life here for anything positive to say, aren't I? We had literally a 5-minute spell, 5-10 minutes, where we were competing. And I'll give him that, but the 5-10 minutes out of 90 against a team like Newcastle, it isn't good enough, unfortunately. But, we did, and it was Pritchard who, we've got these players like Clark, and everyone's talking about Clark and Dan Neil and all these others, and it was Pritchard, it was the only one who looked marginally threatening. Clark did fuck all afternoon, absolutely nothing, hid away, and when he did get it, Trippier had him in his pocket. I think he only went up against Trippier once or twice, lost it both times, and he was just resorting to try and pump it in the box, and his delivery was awful. And other than that, he was just losing the ball consistently for us and then not tracking back. So that's what Clark contributed. But Pritchard was dragging it up the pitch single-handedly, and he had a couple of efforts from distance, one of which went just over the bar. I think he might have actually clipped the crossbar. And another one where he's hit it with the outside of his boot, headed for the far corner, and it's a really, really good stop from Dubravka. So we did have that little spell where it was like, when we did have time on the ball and space in front of us, we're utilising that. But then as soon as they start pressing again, we shit it. We shit and we're like, oh no, you have the ball, please, you have the ball. We don't like your press. And I know it's hard to play against a high press, but usually when we come up against it, it's a quick 1-2 around him and we're gone. And I know it's not always as simple as that, but like I say, the atmosphere, the occasion absolutely swallowed those lads up. And then the third goal, Ballard, who I said, generally did have a very good game, he's gifted them the third goal. He's absolutely gifted them the icing on the cake. O'Nien, he's tried to cut out a pass in the middle of the park. He slid for it, totally missed it. So Gordon is through down the left-hand side, but he's going away from goal. He hasn't even got his head up to cut inside. He don't look like he's shaping up to cut inside whatsoever. But Ballard, I think it's just pure frustration from the lad. He just twats into him. No need, body checks him in the box. There's no need for him at all because he's heading towards the byline. But there, so Isaac stands up, steps up for it, to make it 3-0, and that's it. And it took until the 86th, 85th minute for Beal to make a change. He watched that and thought, this is good, this is the best chance we're going to get. Literally, like I said, some of those players were just swallowed up by the occasion, and his one change in the game was Abdullah Bar, 85 minutes in. That was it, and took off the one strike we did have on. So that was his answer to what was going on, which is fucking speaks volumes, I think. But and in fairness to Abdullah Bar, I've given him a lot of stick in recent weeks, and I think I'm, for valid reasons. But he actually did all right. He made a couple of chances himself single-handedly because no fucker was doing out else. But yeah, so come away deflated, frustrated, and I think a lot of those players you'd hope that they learn from the experience, but I think a lot of them will be leaving the pitch with massive regrets. They'll be going to bed tonight thinking, why the fuck didn't I put that extra shift in? Or weren't I brave enough in the challenge? Or why did I duck out of this? Or why was I rushing the play? So I'm so much better than that, because so many of those players are so much better than what they've shown today. They were far under par. So many players didn't want the ball. Too many players hid away from the occasion. And they were it was boys against men, which is what everyone's going to say anyway. But yeah, so the Mags have got one over us there. But we made it fucking easy for him. We made it so fucking easy for him. Oh, this is painful. This is so fucking painful. But there we go. We're out of the cup. Again, at least it isn't, a Premier League game. If we were in the Premier League, it's not one of them where there is a lot riding on it in terms of competition. It'd be nice to continue, but you know, you got such an opportunity there to make some of those lads, to make a name for yourself, to, you know, make us proud. Again, I wasn't even expecting a win. I wasn't expecting to win 3-4-0, but to go out on such a whimper, fuck me, it just took the buzz out of the game so early on because of how little we've shown, you know, and to show 10 minutes, that's a little 5-10 minute spell in the game, and just allowing them to shot and chance after chance, and how weak we were, it was just poor. But again, hope lads learned from it. I'm going to end now, guys, because this is just depressing, and I hope the mags enjoy it in the comments. Fucking hell, man. Right, put a smile on my face, hit the like button and all that shit. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.